to the show. We're back. We're talking about another Kickstarter campaign that, as of when this video has been gone up, then it is live. So you should definitely check it out. But we're talking with Corissa Grant of Worthy Comics, and we're going to be talking about her latest crowdfunding campaign. So let me bring her in. We'll find out more about her and her comic.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me on. And I'm sorry if you hear purring. My cat is right here. So
that's okay. Animals get a pass. You might see a dog jump up on me. Who knows?
Okay.
So, well, before we get started talking about the book that just began funding, tell us a little bit about yourself. First off, as a comic book reader, and then as a creator, and what made you want to become a creator.
So I'm Corissa Grant. I'm the writer and creator of Worthy Chaos series. And I actually started writing because I became obsessed with the video game Resident Evil 2, the original. And I started role-playing as Claire Redfield online. And that got me obsessed with it. And so this kind of started... The horror one, Redemption, is more Resident Evil, Silent Hill fan fiction. This one, the supernatural Western, is more supernatural cryptid monster stuff. But the reason why I started writing was because of Resident Evil 2. So I wrote it while role-playing. And what makes our story a little bit unique is that I wrote the story, but I didn't write anything Draven. So, like, I write Seraphina and all that, but my co-writer Jess writes all of Draven's lines, so that gives the characters two different personalities because we never wrote for the other person. So yeah, I got kind of obsessed with the story. It wasn't supposed to be a comic book. It wasn't intended. We just kind of got really into it, and we wrote about 16 novels for fun. And then I decided to turn it into a comic book. And here we are. So Redemption has, we just finished last week the Redemption issue 16. We've only started 3 years ago. We've already had 30 issues made. And this one that's...
only?
Only. Well, the nice thing is that we're really far away because a lot of indie creators are smarter than me and go slower. And they do like 3 to 4 Kickstarters a year, if even. I do about 9. So I have a Kickstarter almost every month. And it goes back and forth between the Western and Redemption and then whatever side ones I have going on. But mostly it's always the same characters. I'm obsessed with the characters. The Western is the same characters as Redemption, just in the Old West. And we always have Kickstarters. Right now, we have the live one, and we have 3 others in pre-launch. So we always have something in pre-launch. I always tell people to search Worthy Chaos, and we're the only thing that pops up, but there's like 27 of them. So that's private. But yeah, we've gotten really obsessed with it. So, and the Western one is very interactive too. So we have a lot of things that the reader can do while they're reading it. So that's something unique too.
So it kind of sounds like that, if you're writing one voice and your co-writer is writing another voice, that I would say it's kind of like the old Marvel, style of writing. What did you guys intentionally do that to kind of, like you said, give the characters unique personalities?
That's how, so when we role played, the way it works is people think of it as a board game or, like Dungeons and Dragons. But how it works is I will write one chapter of the story in the point of view of my character, and I explain everything that's going on, and my character will speak to the other character. And then when Jess goes and writes it, it's then written in the point of view of Draven. So... Mm-hmm. And he will answer any questions or talk to my character back, whatever. And then we kind of go from there. So pretty much it's just 2 people writing the same chapter from 2 different points of view, and then I'll send the next chapter, and we'll go back and forth like that. So it wasn't. It's just how roleplay works. So it's not like something we can release, the novel. It'd be a weird, it would be a weird thing. The thing, but it fit perfect in comics. It wasn't intentional, but it's kind of written like it was. So I love it, and I don't know. It's changed my life absolutely completely, because it's just all I think about is this. I write it, think it, edit it, script it, whatever. It's just crazy. So yeah.
With so many projects under your belt, how do you feel that you've grown as a writer?
Well, I now picture, when I originally wrote it, I didn't really picture it. I just kind of wrote it how it was, my character writes it. But now when I'm writing it, I see it in panels. Like I can actually picture how it'll look. And fortunately, I have really good artists. I have 3 ongoing artists, and one of them, Redemption, has been a lifesaver. He's done all 23 issues of Redemption now, so they're all done. They're not released because Kickstarter's slow. So we have 8 done. That's not even for sale yet. But he's working on the prequel. So, but he's so good. So Jonas DaCosta, he never worked in comics before, and I'd never written comics. But when I first hired him, I had just come off of a really bad artist who screwed up issue 1. I paid for a comic and a half for pencil, ink, color, and lettering, and they did 2 pages. So I actually had to pay someone else to finish it, and it didn't turn out right. I didn't like it, so I wound up hiring him to redo it. And I had another artist do another issue of Damnation, and he just redid that one. So, yeah, I kind of rely on him a lot, I guess.
And how did you get connected with him?
Well, I was so mad. I did something that artists hate, so I feel bad now. I didn't know it was a bad thing back then, but what I had done was I think I posted a chapter of the story, and I said, I just lost an artist. Now I need a new artist, and I need somebody that can fit kind of the style. And I said, if anyone wants to do a free page, if I hire you, you'll be doing like 50 issues. There's like, a ton of things. So I had like 5 people working on it, and he came along and he saw it, and I did not like his style, because he was a real life portrait artist. So I'm like, I don't want real. I want comic book. So I gave him the option. I said, listen, I have 5 people doing a free page. You could do a free page now, and I'll look at it now, or you can wait till I'm done with these 5. And if I don't pick one, I'll pay you to do a page. He goes, nope, I'll do it for free. He did an entire pencil, ink, color, and letter in like 24 hours. It was just, and it was perfect. I had probably spent thousands, probably about $5,000 to $10,000 trying to find artists to do the first one. So I was not looking forward to doing it again. And I told him about what happened and that I was freaking out about doing it again. And he actually said, don't pay me anything until I'm completely done with the issue. And I was like, sold. And so we've both grown. Like I could tell that my writing has obviously grown with the characters and the writing. And his art has, like, and I think around issue 6, he went to school for animation. I mean, for comic illustration. And his work just got so much better, and I'm very, very lucky to have him. And the funny part is when we first started, we argued the entire time because I had, like, most comic books are like 6 to 8 panels, but he wanted to do his own panels. He wanted to do action panels, and we kept butting heads because it was too many panels. And finally, I think by the end of the first issue, I was like, fine, I will cut back my panels to 4 to 5, and then you add panels that you want. And ever since then, it's been smooth sailing. But the whole time, my husband's like, you need a different artist. I was like, no, this is the artist. I just need to figure this out. So it was growing pains. But now we've been through, he just finished Damnation. So we've done 24 issues together, and he's doing the sketching for the issue 2. So, you know, my artists work nonstop, by the way. They do not have to wait for Kickstarter and funding. They just keep going this way. They don't have to find other work if they don't want to. I don't have to worry about losing my artist, and it works out really well. My wallet doesn't like it, but I love it. So,
So doing Kickstarters this way, is there anything that you've noticed, I guess, compared to like doing them like 2 or 3 a year? When you're continually doing them, is there, something, is there a, I don't want to say it's a trick, but is there a, process that you've kind of, gotten in that you got, found works for you, and with your, what you're offering and all that?
Well, my see, it's positive. The positive part of doing it every month is that people always engaged. They're always, they don't have to wait. The bad part is that my readers go broke. So there's that that little balance there. And I'm queen of merch. I've been called queen of merch a lot. So there's a ton of merch. But I do find, so one thing that I do that I don't know if I train them or they train me, but I have the Kickstarter ready to go. I mean, the pre-launch ready to go for the next issue for that series the minute it drops. It ends, And also my main covers are done and in hand before I launch, because I had to build up trust, and Kickstarters are tricky. So I make sure I always have them done. So I ship within 24 hours the first half of the series, and then I order everyone else's, and I get it within 6 weeks. But one time I didn't have the pre-launch link because Kickstarter didn't auto-approved it. They've been auto-approving it for, like, at that point, I don't know, like 12 issues. So to not have it, I was like, crap. So I didn't have it, and everyone's like, what happened? Where is it? Where's the link? They I swear I'm going to have the link. And it was like 4 or 5 days later. And the second I dropped the link, it was like 80 followers in like 24 hours because everyone was freaking out. So that was a little ego boost. I did like that. But I think the difference between, the 3 and 4 and 8 and 9 is just that they never get a chance to forget you. It's constantly. And my first, I've already done 2 this year, and it's March, and my next one is now when this is live. So those are a little too close. I should have spaced them out. I have so many to get through this year, but I only left 3 weeks between each one. So I'm gonna push it out to 4 weeks for the rest. But I have so many that if I could do them, I only do 2-week Kickstarters, by the way. So if you're watching this, you have 2 weeks to go pledge. But I can't do 30 days. 1, they stress me out. And 2, I make almost everything in the first 24 hours and the last 48 hours. I want to get it down to a week. That's what I want, like 7 days of a Kickstarter. Then I can get them out faster. But yeah, I really do love Kickstarters, and I'm very lucky to have the followers that I have. I have like, I would say 150 really loyal followers, and I'm really lucky for those. So,
what do you think it is about the series that keeps bringing them back?
I'm horrible with cliffhangers, and they hate me for it. But everything ends on a cliffhanger. Like if they want to see anything, everything, like it's cliffhangers galore. With the horror one, it's nonstop chaotic. Like if you like nonstop survival horror, Redemption's for you. If you want the supernatural adventure, this Western's for you. Most of my readers read both, but with the supernatural, they're actually very, like I said before, it's interactive, and a lot of them like that. So what happens is, if anyone's watched Supernatural, they'll know what a supernatural journal is. But you buy a supernatural journal for $14, and then every Kickstarter that you back physically, you get a cryptid page for that journal for free. So whatever she interacts with or sees in the background or whatever's in that issue, you'll get a journal page that you can collect in this journal. But the other thing that happens is in the storyline, she's required to find 18 cryptid jars, which means she has to get an ingredient from a cryptid, and she can't kill them because that would be too easy. So I had to torture my characters, and they have to be alive. For example, the first one was a dragon heart petals. The second one was vampire blood. And this one is Squonk Tears. And for anyone that doesn't know who Squonk is, he is a cryptid from Pennsylvania that all he does is sits in the woods and cries about how ugly he is. That's it. And if you spot him and you upset him, he cries into a puddle. He is my favorite cryptid. You either know him and love him or you don't know he exists. But they can collect these jars. And some of the backers also, we have a travel apothecary wooden logo box, and the box I hand make the insides, and they can collect the jars and hold them in there, and it holds the journal and it holds any little trinkets that we sell or anything like that. So a lot of people buy that too, so they can interact with her. She finds something, you find it. She found the vampire blood, they got to buy the vampire blood jar. So a lot of people do like that interactiveness, and they want to see which cryptid's next, and they want to see what monsters she has to fight or whatever. And they really like that. So I think that helps, and it works for every Kickstarter. So no matter what Kickstarter you back, if you own a journal, you will get a free journal page with it, at least one. Sometimes I go crazy and have 4, but I got to stop that because I got to print these myself, and they drive me up a wall. I love them. I have like 75 journal holders. But man, they're exhausting. So, I mean, I have to, write them up, print them, cut them, hole punch them, and then there you go. So, but yeah, but it does keep people interactive. So that's nice if they like that. Yeah.
Now, does this, it sounds like the story's been going on for a while. Is there a definite finite end to the story, or is it something that you want to kind of have jumping off points for other stories you might want to tell?
So the redemption's already written and already drawn. So that's 23 issues, but it does continue. It has I like to call it, it's a soft ending. It'll say, and they lived happily ever after, unless you turn the page. And then the page of the epilogue about the next series they jump into, and that's like hell on earth. So that's Conviction. That's going to be next. That's already written too. That's 25 issues already written, and my artist will start that as soon as he finishes the 8 prequels. So the prequel obviously has an ending. It continues into Redemption. The Western is called Devastation for a reason. It does have an ending. And it does continue into Redemption eventually, but the Western is their previous life, so it obviously will not end well. But that's like 20 issues down the line, so hopefully people stick around for that.
Now, are there any comic, writers that you look to for, I don't know, not for inspiration or how they, tell their story or, create their stuff that helps you or challenges you to up your game?
Well, what inspired me originally to love the comic books, I loved Ghost Rider, the original, not the original Danny one, but the Crow. Yes, I loved him. My brother collected the original Bud Blaze, but I liked the crossover of them with Blaze and Danny, and I had all of those. I still have them downstairs. I haven't read them since the 90s. Actually, I stopped collecting comics because it went into like this Midnight Sun, not the first Midnight Suns, but this Midnight Sun crossover of like 30 issues crossover. I was like, I can't afford that as a teenager. Anyway, that was that. But the Crow, I love the original Crow graphic novel. And I actually took it out when I first started writing because I hired an artist, and then I was like, I should probably learn how to script, So my first script issue, I sent it to the letterer, and he's like, did you want to see any of the art, or did you just want all dialogue? So my first issue actually wound up being like 3 issues because they just talk so much. So yeah, that was a learning curve right there. But yeah, the Crow I took out and had it like I've had that book for 30 years. I actually met James Omar, and I told him that my character's Raven, had the same last name as the Crow, Eric Draven. And I accidentally gave him issue 1. I had given him 2 issue 1s to sign for me and my co-writer, and he signed my graphic novel, which, by the way, if you bring him a comic book that he wrote, no matter how old it is, he signs it for free. His agent didn't look happy, but whatever. So I paid him to sign the 2 issue 1s. So he signs 1, and he goes and looks at the second one and goes, "Is this for me?" And I was like, "Yes." Yes, that's for you. So he actually has my issue 1. I wish I can give him the hardcover. But he hasn't been around here again, but I'm hoping he does. I would love, if I had to pick any artist to do a cover, he would be the one I want. And I've written to him, I've emailed him, I've written to the agent, and they've never gotten back to me. And I wish I'd asked him in person to do a cover. So I'm kind of upset about that, but it is what it is.
So what are you offering for reward levels for the campaign?
Oh, let me just tell you, you're going to have to go and look, because there's like 99. So there's used to not be a limit. I think I broke Kickstarter, but now there's a limit of 99 total rewards and add-ons. And I own far more than 99. So for this one, we have, I think there's 5 covers. There's at least 5 covers. But we also have the Squonk tiers, the jars you can get a journal. You can get Squonk plushies and some other cryptid plushies. We have the boxes. We actually have, for the first, well, not the first time, but the first Western, we're having 3D prints of the vampires in the story, and they look awesome. And we have new stickers, I think, and acrylic. We have new acrylic stands, keychains, and magnets. Those are all new. I met somebody that does them professionally, and they look awesome. I've never done the acrylic stand. Have you ever seen those? They're so popular now, and I'm just, I had to find new merch because I'm running out of merch and all this stuff. So I have these 6-inch tall cryptid, both cryptid and the ladies acrylic stand. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, we've got a lot. And then we have the hardcovers for Redemption you can get. We have past ones you can get. You can catch up really easily. Our PDF catch up tiers. And our current issue always comes with issue 1 and 2 of Redemption for free. So you pay $5 for the PDF and you get 3 PDFs. So it's kind of cool. And then we have a ton of covers you can play with. So yeah, I always get nervous because every time I launch, it takes like half an hour because everyone has to read through everything. So like I never launch live anymore because it's so stressful. Because it'd be like no pledges, and then like 30 minutes will go by and I'm like zoom. And I'm like, oh thank God. So I panic every single Kickstarter. You'd think I'd get used to it by now, but no.
Well, what advice would you have for new creators, who are looking to, do, Kickstarters? As someone who has done a lot of them and seems to have a routine with them.
My secret is podcast. Do podcast. This is thanks to people like you, which I really appreciate. This is how I got my story out there. I did 300 podcasts my first 2 years. I used to do like 20 to 45 per Kickstarter while it's launched. So I've slowed down. Now I'm doing you and like one other one. They're exhausting. Like this is fun. I like this. But when you have to do like 45 of them within 3 weeks, it's killer. But I'm also a rambler in case you couldn't tell. So it's a little tricky. But yeah. So I would say podcast. I would say definitely everyone made fun of me when I first started that I had merch. And then as soon as they saw that people bought the merch, like, oh, where did you get that? You have to have things for them to buy or you're not going to make more. And I've been made fun of. I have a couple of them who yelled at me about having plushies. Now they ask me who my plushie maker is. And I've also been told off by some creators saying, oh, you can't get by on just your comics. And I go, no, probably not, because I have 150 loyal readers that'll buy all my stuff. But yeah, definitely have merch, because if they can only buy like an issue or two, you're not going to get enough, you know. Plus, people love, when you love something, you want everything from it, you know, like I do. I collect everything from everything. So definitely have merch, have good covers. Covers are really important. And have your issue done. I know that sounds, you know, like, at least for the first couple, have it done so they could build trust. You know, mine are always done because I don't want to make them wait. I'm instant gratification. I send out the PDF the minute the thing ends. You know, once your payment goes through, you get the PDF. And that's really important to me. So I would do that. And if you're new at making comics, before you even start, make sure you write the ending. I got made fun of where the guy's like, oh, you should just have the ending in mind. No, you can change it, but have it written. Don't be a Game of Thrones. Don't screw up your story. So that's pretty important. There's my tips.
So as we kind of wrap up here, do you want to give a final pitch for the campaign and where people can find out or find more about you if you're on social media or?
If you're into supernatural, monsters, mythology, cryptids, dark romance, horror, adventure, any of those sort of things, this story is definitely for you. Definitely check it out. Search Worthy Chaos on Kickstarter, Google, Facebook. We're the only thing that pops up where I'm wherever chaos is. But make sure to like and follow the Kickstarters, and you're gonna be addicted to it. So I apologize, and I apologize for the cliffhangers, but that's how we roll here in Worthy Chaos. So yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck as the campaign continues, and we will follow it over on Comic Watch, along with in our weekly roundups. And so it was great chatting with you, and we'll have to have you back some time in the future when you have.
I've got like 50 more issues to do. I'll come anytime. Thanks for having me on, and I really do appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for your time, and have a great evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.